This is a film about the future, but not mine.
Mine. Mine. Mine. Mine. Mine. Mine.
No one knows what the future is going to be like. The rise of information and communication technologies is dramatically altering how society works and global cultures interact. Today's children will become adults and will engage in a world very different from the one we know today. They'll need to solve problems beyond their current understanding and use skill sets that are yet to be defined or tools that are yet to be created. How do teachers at Biss prepare students for this?
One of the dilemmas with 21st century education is that children are taught what to learn, but not how to learn, and we must take advantage of their innate curiosity and creativity. At Biss, we think in terms of preparing the students for the unknown, teaching them the how and not the what, so that students are ready to cope with the expected as well as the unexpected.
So, what are the 21st century attributes and attitudes that students need?
We want our students to develop the behaviors, attitudes, and dispositions required for working in partnership with others, both in person or within this globally connected world.
The goal of 21st century literacy at Biss is to move beyond obsessing about the terminology and in particular about the technology, to accept that technology is a critical and crucial aspect of our lives.
Of course, there are the standards of reading, writing, and numeracy. That's like the air we breathe. But beyond these basics, 21st century learners need to know how to think creatively, critically, and collaboratively. They need to know how to problem solve on many levels.
Hi, Nina.
Hi.
Okay, first question. Why are you interested in the Kindles?
I'm interested in reading on Kindles because it's easier and you can have more books in one time and you can make the font whatever size you want and you have an online dictionary.
One aspect that sticks out most here at Biss is how much technology we use to support student learning. This makes the curriculum so much more exciting and relevant to this age, which is so technologically driven.
We don't want technology to take over in the classroom. We have a content to teach, and so that really is our focus. And we like to use technology just as a tool, as in we use a pencil as a tool, opposed to the technology being a focus. So it's all about really integrating technology so that it's authentically embedded in our curriculum rather than technologies being the main focus.
Blogs are a very effective tool to empower student action and help them reflect and share interests, hobbies, and learning experiences while building writing abilities. At Biss, blogging is going viral through our Biss blog network. Through our blogs, students and teachers are expanding their learning experiences beyond the classroom environment and traditional school schedule constraints. Blogs are allowing Biss teachers and students to collaborate in cross-curricular projects and provide the opportunity for feedback from anyone in the world, creating limitless collaborative options and improving student writing.
So our class has an edu-blog called Fantastic Fours that we are on several times per week, and we have educators from all around the world following us online. We have students making comments, students making posts, parents commenting, other teachers within the school, administrators, really feeling like they're part of our classroom and feeling like they have a window into what's happening in our day.
And they take pride in knowing that someone else around the world is reading what they wrote, and seeing the smile on their faces when they get a response back from another student from somewhere else is something that I have never seen as a teacher.
Our iPad program signals the opportunity for a transformation in how technology is used in our school. iPads have been introduced to all age ranges and abilities across all areas of the curriculum to make the use of technology more transparent as well as cross-curricular.
Okay, the iPad journey at Biss has been a really interesting one, and it's been a very fast one. We began last year with 6 iPads in grade 1 as a pilot program, and the whole purpose of that was to prove that the iPad has worth in the early years, number 1, and certainly in schools. That clearly has gone very well, because we've since moved from 6 iPads with 2 to 1 roughly, to 40 iPads across the school. The important part of it for us was that we had to prove that this was a tool, not a toy. And in doing that, we needed to become familiar with the device. We needed to know its base capabilities. We then researched apps that we could use in a combined fashion, so that we could create tasks using the iPad that linked directly with the curriculum. Now, this mashing of apps and tools gave us flexibility. The flashy apps are fabulous, but if you are locked into just that task or that activity, you don't have as much flexibility, and nor do you actually get that much creativity, in all truth. So the creative aspect of the tool was really vital for us, and the versatility of the tool was equally as important. And it allowed us to link in key skills using technology, and it also allowed us to have the tool as an integrated part of the program. It wasn't simply out on its own, and as teachers and students have become more familiar with it, we're seeing that those possibilities grow certainly throughout the elementary school, and probably in a broader sense through the specialist program with specialist teachers.
We use iPad in Chinese class to learning Chinese character and pinyin, and we also use iPad like the e-book program to make the Chinese portfolio in grade 1. This is one of my students' portfolio, and the students took pictures for their paper house, and they write some notes about their house, and they make the background by themselves, and then they took the video with their partner about reading this one.
What makes the iPad such an interesting tool is that we're able to differentiate the learning styles and needs of each of our students. Being that we have 2 students to 1 iPad here in the lower elementary school, we can customize their learning needs, which will help them to be high achievers.
And in particular in the early years, that's the biggest benefit, because it has this intuitive way about it that children can actually move from one app or one page to another without deleting work, without getting lost. The fact that a stylo pen can be used with suitable apps, they can write directly on it. It's touch screen. It works more like a book. And the fact that groups can sit on the floor at a table, we can take it out for a community walk. It can be used in so many different ways that as a piece of technology for the early years, I think it has a perfect fit.
We have the grade 1 students coming down to my class, the pre-K, to mentor them on how to use the iPad. They have taught my students how to video record, how to frame and take pictures, how to make a puppet show with an app that we have, which involves choosing the characters, making the characters speak, making them move, using good voice control so that we can hear what they're saying, and allowing them to use both English and Chinese, which the students really enjoy. And then they really love watching the results of their work.
Now they are happy.
In grade 2 we use the iPads for maths, and especially for number revision, for the students to revise different skills. So that might be quick number facts with addition or subtraction, multiplication, also place value. There's different apps that we use that the kids find quite entertaining and engaging, and they can revise what we've been learning in class and challenge themselves even more. Okay, so we use apps to revise number skills such as Math Hero, basic addition and subtraction questions that the kids enjoy playing, and of course they get more difficult as we go along, so it's more challenging. And games for place value such as Zoom, so that the students can work out the value of different numbers and where they might fit on the number line, and they also get more challenging as you go along. And another one we often use is Splash Math, so also for basic operations. We've also used Doodle Buddy, one of the creation apps, so that the students could basically record what they'd learnt about the properties of addition, and they were able to be artistic and design a page to show what they knew about that concept.
One of the ways I've used the iPad is in our unit of inquiry on the solar system. We downloaded an app called Solar System, and with the touch of a button, students were able to choose the planet they were going to work on and learn more about. So for example, if they were going to choose Jupiter, they could select Jupiter. With their finger, they can manipulate, they can have a look at the different facets of the planet, they can zoom in, zoom out. It also provides a simplified version of information that they can read about in easier language than they might find on the internet or in a book. And they can also go into a gallery and have a look at different characteristics of the planet. When they were happy with something that they wanted to use for their research, they could take a picture of it and then get back into the original platform. They could read about the planet and take some notes, and then using a creating app such as Book Creator, they're able to load their image into Book Creator from the camera roll, and there it is. They can make it bigger or smaller, and then they can also add text depending on what they want to say. This is Mars. I think what's great about this is its simplicity, and for kids at the elementary age, they're able to access things in a simple way, but also in a meaningful way.
I would say that the future is pretty wide open at Biss as we continue to grow and to communicate with the world on a global scale. We've got so much technology available to students. Personal technology with the iPads and the one-to-one MacBook program, technology that we can share with parents and the community, like our blogging network or our Wikispaces platform for our online portfolios.
Today, more than any other time in history, robots play a significant role in everyday life. For the average person, it is impossible to go through a day without coming in contact, one way or another, with a robotic device.
All right. So, what are you using just to make the robot see the black line?
Light sensor.
You're using a light sensor. Can you show me a light sensor?
At Biss, through our robotics program, we are successfully introducing students to the fun and excitement of science and technology, while building self-confidence, knowledge, vocabulary, and life skills.
One day, in a school called the Star International School, a new student came to the grade 2 class.
Being able to read and write multiple forms of media and integrate them into a meaningful whole is the new hallmark of literacy. If literacy means being able to consume and produce the media forms of the day, the default media forms need to shift from the essay to the multimedia collage.
And the bottom line here is that literacy means consuming and producing the media forms of the day, whatever they are. And it's been always like this. If you have a kid that knows how to read but doesn't know how to write, would you consider that kid literate? No, you wouldn't. You would consider that kid half literate because he can only do half of the literacy equation. And we are absolutely at that point where students need to be able to write well, whatever it is that they read.
In the past, we have sold art in terms of expressing yourself and getting in touch with yourself. But to be literate in this day and age, we all have to be creative and be an artist on some level. We all need to have a good command of the visual language. It's absolutely upon us. We need to adopt art as a foundational literacy.
The media collage brings together writing, art, design, visuals, and sounds. Rather than being just a collection of multiple forms of media, the term media collage implies that we are going to put them together thoughtfully in a way that works and makes sense to the viewer.
Who do you see? I see six.
And it hasn't been until a few years ago that we have all those tools that are widely distributed, very cheap if not for free, very easy to use. That hasn't happened until very recently, so that now we can all produce the same media that we all consume.
As part of our narrative unit, we no longer produce a class book or a written story, but we now produce a written story and then adapt it to screen. So digital storytelling has been a really powerful way of bringing the narrative units to life. Again, we're not producing digital stories for the sake of them. We're producing them to strengthen students' writing ability because the curriculum always comes first. So the original strategies still involve brainstorming and planning and learning the structure of a narrative, drafting and revising and editing. But then what's really exciting is that they have to adapt those stories for screen. And that's where we are trying to teach a whole set of what we consider to be new literacy skills. This idea that literacy is evolving and it's no longer just about what can be read on the page.
Writing, oral, art, digital. Those are the four primary literacies that our students are engaged in when they play games, when they make stuff. Two of those are ancient. Oral literacy goes back thousands of years ago. Art has always been around. Writing is actually not that ancient. And actually, the only new thing here is digital literacy. And I can't think of a better project than a media-based project. One that integrates all these different literacies in one.
My role as an art teacher has become increasingly more important to introduce visual literacy, particularly at an early age and through the use of technology. So I'm using the iPads in the early years to introduce the elements and principles of design. The best part about it is it's happening in real time. I send the students off with the iPads to photograph images that include examples like repetition, framing, focal point, and balance. And the wonderful thing is that it's in real time and the kids are looking at it right there and they're talking about it. And then after that, using simple image manipulation apps like Photoshop Express so that students can see their image go from a medium light into a high contrast image happening right there in front of them in their eyes. So the next time we speak about high contrast, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Let me introduce you to Sam Sugarcane.
Well, I'm being bullied by some students. They kick me and push me.
By taking the media collage and combining it with the world of Web 2.0 and social and participatory media, we are authentically moving from a world of mass media in which a very few people create for many to an era in which students can easily produce movies for our own media channel.
I'm tired of this.
We're taking visual literacy and visual learning to a whole new level.
An increasing number of students today are digital natives. They only know a world dominated by rapidly changing technologies. Our digital natives are already using digital tools in their everyday lives. Doesn't it make sense to integrate them into the classroom as well?
One thing I love about integrating technology into the classroom is that I don't need to be the expert. I don't need to have all the how-tos and all the answers. In fact, I feel I've learned far more from taking risks with my students rather than trying to teach them how to use the tool. We're very fortunate at Biss to have a one-to-one laptop situation. We have access to a wide variety of other technology, including iPads, Kindles, and digital cameras, and the like. And having these tools at our fingertips has really made integrating them much more seamless, I suppose. And we also have an e-learning coordinator, and the collaboration between the teachers and the e-learning coordinator has been really a tremendous support for all of us.
We often use social networking tools like Edmodo to communicate with other schools and other children, other students. Sometimes we set up Edmodo groups within our classroom when children are inquiring about specific topics. We have online portfolios to communicate their work to parents. So at the moment that platform is a wiki, and what it provides is an opportunity for parents to see their child's learning in a way that wasn't previously possible.
Many times in my class I've seen students with laptops, paper and pencil, and a Kindle all at their desk at the same time, and I think that's the exciting journey that we're on in integrating technology into the classroom.
So children in my classroom will just as easily reach for a pencil or a magnifying glass or their math book according to the task. And that's the ideal situation, because that means that technology is truly embedded in our curriculum.
It's not memorizing the facts they are going to need to know for the rest of their lives. The new hallmark is to know now how to find information, how to validate it, how to synthesize it, how to collaborate with it, how to communicate it, how to problem solve with it. And that's the new 21st century set of literacies. And it actually looks a lot different than the model most of us were raised in.
You know, I wish I had this opportunity when I was a student. And this generation is going to be, you know, we're not sure what's going to happen in 40 or 50 years, but I know that when my students get into university and beyond, that they're going to be doing something special. And it starts here, it starts today.
It all starts with our teachers, and we ensure that our teachers have all the tools that they need to really relay their passion to the students. For example, professional development. We ensure that our teachers go to conferences, that they are exposed to new ideas, new techniques, that they're exposed to other teachers in the network, and that they're able to collaborate with those other professionals. That's when we get the best out of our students. We also provide our teachers with the hardware and the software that they need. And we also allow them a lot of opportunity, as one of our teachers said, to get messy. And that's exactly what we allow our teachers to do. We allow them the freedom to test things out, to try things out, to fail and then to succeed.
Our teachers facilitate effective communication, innovation, and creativity. We want our students to develop the behaviors, attitudes, and dispositions required for working in partnership with others, both in person or within this globally connected world.
This is the philosophy for the 21st century school, and this is the philosophy of Biss International School. This is a connected school.